Hi guys, Lisa Figueroa here, board certified criminal defense attorney in Florida. I'm here to tell you a little bit about what's going on with the appeal on Alicia Andrews. I know a lot of you have been following the case and we were curious, what's the timeline? When are we going to hear back about the sentencing? When's it going to go forward and will the judge be removed? So I was checking the docket from the appeals court and it looks like on December 5th, the motion for expedited issuance of an order to show cause was granted. Now, what does that mean? That just means Alicia Andrews' attorney had filed this appeal asking for them to pause the proceedings in the state court in the case in Tampa and to see whether or not the judge is going to be removed. But how long do they have to answer? They have 30 days from the issuance of that. So that was December 5th. They gave the respondent, which in this case is the state of Florida, which in this case is the prosecution, right? They have 30 days to respond to this writ. Specifically, it says they have to show why it shouldn't be granted. They're putting the burden on the state to say why the judge should stay on the case. Otherwise, if no response is received, then the case gets reassigned to a new judge. On the other hand, if they do respond within those 30 days, so we should know something before January 5th, they have 15 days. The petitioner, Alicia Andrews' attorney, will have 15 days to respond to that response. And then after that, the court will ultimately decide, will the judge be removed and a new judge assigned, or will it go back to that same judge? So the state has 30 days to respond to the appeal and basically defend itself against this motion. And this is common. Anytime that someone brings an appeal, the prosecution is going to have a chance to respond. If the appeal court finds merit, meaning that there is value or at least some legal basis for them to make this claim, they are now saying, hey, state, you guys need to respond. We're going to give you 30 days. So either they respond or they don't. And that's what we're going to know. But at least there's a limit. They're not going to give them unlimited time to respond. And it's not that the appeals court has already approved anything other than to say it's enough that there is a question here that needs to be responded to. And they're saying, hey, state, we need to hear from you as to what has been claimed. The actual wording of the court's order was, in essence, petitioner's renewed motion for expedited issuance of an order to show cause is granted. Within 30 days, the respondent, that's the prosecution, shall show cause why this petition for writ of prohibition should not be granted. The petitioner may reply within 15 days of service of this response. And then in the meantime, the state court does not move forward. Nothing gets scheduled, nothing gets done in that case until this gets decided. So once the state responds, then Alicia Andrews' attorney will have up to 15 days to respond to their response. And I've seen courts in appeal cases issue an order even without waiting for a second reply. So we'll see. We'll see how they respond, but at least we know that we should hear something before January 8th. Now, 30 days from the 5th is actually on a Sunday. So anytime that the deadline falls on a weekend or a court holiday, then they have until the following business day. That's going to be January 5th in this case. So we should know by January 5th what the court has ruled or if the state has even responded, and we'll be back to give you an update at that point. We've gotten a lot of questions about the gun enhancement where you could get an additional 15 years or that it should be a first-degree felony, which is what happens when there is a gun involved in the felony. The problem is that enhancement typically is only applied to the person who is the shooter. You had to actually possess the firearm. So in those cases, you would have a jury would have to have a special verdict form that says that Alicia Andrews actually possessed a firearm, and you didn't hear that when we did the verdict, and that's because it didn't apply in this case. She was never the shooter, and so she doesn't get the gun enhancement nor the additional enhancement of the type of felony that she's being charged with. So her max is going to be 15 years in this case. So thanks again for watching. We'll be back with another update as soon as we get it. Take care.